That's better for me.
Hi, Laura.
Hey.
Hey.
Shalom.
Hi.
Shabbat Shalom.
What's happening?
It's just miserable here.
Oh, sorry.
Raining and
I heard. I talked to
like
Michelle. Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's 90. I talked to Michelle called here earlier
Mm-hmm.
just to see if we knew anybody that ships cars.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know anybody. And
No people that steal cars.
Personally know people who steal cars?
I hope not. No. No.
I remember taking my father's car and leaving just like half of a gallon of gas in it. You know how it used to.
Anyway, no. Anyway,
Irene?
it's 94 here, Lori.
Oh,
Ow.
no.
We had to walk. We walked early in the morning just because you have to. Like awful. But anyway. Hi, Rabbi.
Hi.
Rabbi.
Hello.
Hi, Rainey. Hi,
Hi,
Susan.
Riri.
Hi, everyone.
Susan. Susan.
Do these all the time.
And my cord is out there if you start to.
Okay.
There's someone in there.
Okay.
Okay.
We got
So you're-
supervision here.
How many people are there so far?
5.
Oh, okay.
I know Susan and Lyle are going to do remote.
Okay.
Yeah, it's miserable. I wouldn't want to go out.
Is it snowing? Is it snowing or raining? What?
Rain,
Raining.
cold and rain.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Hi, Amy. Hi,
Hi,
Elle.
Amy.
Hello.
Ellen.
Hi,
Ellen.
Shabbat
Hi.
Shalom.
How are you? How is everybody?
Good.
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 Good. Sandy, you look like you have a new mustache.
Yeah, you like it?
I like it.
Thank you.
She didn't know. He fell.
I fell while hiking
Hiking.
and to cover the scar and the stitches.
Really?
Oh, you
Yeah.
did a good job.
Well, you know, I have a funny mustache story. When I was growing up, my dad grew a mustache and he had it for years. And we went on vacation. We were in Hilton Head and we were at a restaurant. He was a pediatrician. And we ran into one of his patients and they said, "Oh, you shaved your mustache off." And none of us had noticed. My mom didn't notice. All four kids, none of us noticed. He's like, "You're the only one who noticed." He was patient. We
That's
were
great.
like stunned.
What a great story.
Isn't that terrible?
Wonderful
No idea.
family.
I
Wonderful
like that.
family.
I know. It made us feel horrible. I don't know how we didn't notice. We just didn't notice.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
Hey, Flossie, before we start, happy birthday. She
Oh,
gone.
Lassie?
Birthday.
Flossie,
It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Flossie.
birthday,
Happy
Flossie.
birthday.
Flossie.
There's Dennis. Happy birthday, Flossie.
Everybody, I was
You have a cake to show us?
no, I ate it.
And why not?
It
No, we're
wasn't
celebrating-
today. Huh?
We're celebrating tomorrow night at my daughter's, and she's making me an ice cream cake, and maybe I'll share it with the rest.
Oh.
Oh,
Hi, Michelle.
sounds good.
Michelle.
hi, Michelle.
Yeah. Ellen. Ellen, how's baby? I can't hear.
You're-
I can't hear. Yeah. How is she today?
She's doing better today.
Good.
Lori.
She
What?
thinks she just wants to walk.
I know. That's what Lauren said. Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to those in the sanctuary who have braved this weather. It does not feel like almost April. Well, I guess it does in Cleveland. It feels more like, I don't know, December. But we are here and we will warm each other up with prayer and song. And speaking of song, I am so grateful and excited to welcome Joanne Unitowski back into the sanctuary. You may recognize Joanne from our Highlight 2 years, but 2.5 or so before COVID, Joanne was a regular substitute soloist. But we haven't had substitute soloists really. And so Deb is on vacation. Occasionally we allow that. And so that means that Joanne can now be back to sing with us. Joanne has not been here in the era of Zoom and at home and here and all of that. So thank you for being brave as well. We are going to begin our service with our customary setting our space, being together. Let's take a deep breath in. And release. And another deep breath in. And when we release that breath, we're going to try to let go of all that was bogging us down this week. And now the opposite. We breathe in the beauty, the sweetness of Shabbat. We turn to opening song, Shiru Ladonai. It can be found on page 344, I believe, or those of you at home on your screen.
Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We continue with our candles and Kiddush, beginning on page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kadishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the day, God blessed the seventh day, and declared it holy, because on that day, God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קדישנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זה לציון מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מקומים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדיש השבת. אמן.
Our opening, oh, geez, I keep doing that. Let's fix that. Our opening reading, for those of you in the sanctuary, is not found in your prayer book. It is not we alone who pray. All things pray. All things pour forth their souls. The heavens pray. The earth prays. Every creature and every living thing prays. In all life there is longing. Creation itself is but a longing, a prayer to the Almighty. What are the clouds, the rising and the setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon and the gentleness of the night? What are the flashes of the human mind and the storms of the human heart? They are all prayers, the outpouring of boundless longing for God. We turn to page 28. The Baruch Hu is our call to worship. It says to God, we are ready for more prayer, for deeper prayer. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 31, Mari Varavim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue at page 34, the Shema, the watchword of our faith.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצחפך היום על לבביך, ושיננת על לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue with Micha Mocha, page 40. Micha Mocha is a song of praise to God for the Israelites having crossed the Red Sea. We say, who is like you, O God, for being able to get us across the sea, for being able to free us from this enslavement from all of these years. Who is like you, majestic in all of this holiness? It's a song of celebration. Immediately following this, Miriam and all of the women danced because they couldn't hold back their joy of finally being free. We sing together.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Malechut chara uvanecha, vokei ayam lishem Moshe. Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam yaed, Adonai imloch le'olam vaed. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
Ashkivenu 42. It's our evening lullaby, the prayer for protection. This past Sunday evening, well, really afternoon, around 5 o'clock, I had the unique opportunity to be with a number of other clergy in Solon as we prayed for peace in a vigil for Ukraine. There were a number of Muslims and Quakers and Protestants and other Jewish clergy, and I chose to use this prayer. I chose to share the Hashkivenu because the Hashkivenu asks for God to place upon each of us a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. And when I think about the millions of people who are displaced, the millions of children, the millions of men and women who do not have a sukkah, forget about a house, even a flimsy shelter, it makes me think of how powerful just a lullaby could be for them. And so I offered the Hashkivenu, asking for them a Sukkot Shalom, not just a prayer asking for shelter, but a prayer asking for Shalom, for peace and wholeness for all of those who are struggling, all of those who have been displaced, all of those who are fighting in Ukraine. So as we sing Hashkivenu this evening, let us think of all of them.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoeinu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Page 44. The Shamru is a reminder of the gift of Shabbat, that we have this time that we can pause and take a step back and just breathe and rest as God did on the seventh day. And so let's sing that gratitude, sing the Shamru.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני
We turn now to the tefillah, sometimes also called the Amidah. They're interchangeable terms for the center of our service. You can find it beginning on page 46, which is just a sentence to reframe ourselves, to reconnect with the prayers. Then we'll continue on pages 48, 50, and 52 with the continuing prayers. We'll chant straight through. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע. מהלכי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לפשעי עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך וממית ומחיה ומטביע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. So I have heard from a number of people this week that there's been so much hard in the news that it's been hard to remember what's good. So I added in to our service a reading of gratitude, a reading of thankfulness, so that we can pull up in our hearts those things for which we are grateful, the small blessings in our lives. For the blessing of friendship and love, of family and community, for the blessings we ask of you and those we cannot ask, for the blessings we recognize and those we fail to recognize, for the blessings you bestow upon us in the open and those you give in secret, we are grateful to you. For all these blessings, eternal God of the universe, we thank you and are grateful to you. For the blessings of our traditions, for the blessings of our creativity, for the blessings of return and forgiveness, for the blessing of memory and hope. For all these blessings, eternal God of the universe, we thank you and are grateful to you. We turn now to page 60 and we sing Shalom Rav together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ato Melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ato melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
There are so many people that we love, so near and far, who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of body, a healing of spirit, healing from mental illness, healing from life's struggles. And so we take time every Shabbat to lift up those whom we love in prayer for healing. If you need the words here in the sanctuary, it's the middle of page 253. As my hand passes over those here in the congregation, I invite you to say aloud the names of those loved ones. And if you are at home, I hope that you'll use the chat to lift up in prayer those who are in need of healing on this Shabbat.
Joan.
We join together in healing song.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Before we move to silent prayer, I'm going to try something I've not done before here on Zoom in the sanctuary, which is we have a birthday out in Rabbi Shauna calls it Zoomlandia. So I love that. So Flossie Mitchell had a birthday this week. And so I'm going to offer her a birthday blessing, even though I can't see her or hear her, or I actually don't even know if she's there, but I'm going to assume she's there. So very quickly and lovingly, a birthday blessing for Flossie. Flossie, may God bless you with good health, with continued long life, abundance, with sweet joy from your family, with all who love you here at Suburban Temple, Kol Ami, with your friends and family, with continued success from the special gifts that God has given you. And may all the best continue to come to you. May you continue to find health and happiness. And let us say together, Amen. Now we take a few moments for silent prayer and reflection.
Say shalom mimromav, Uya say shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Well, in a second first, I don't even know if you can do that. This evening, we are going to look at a couple verses of the Torah portion in a text study. And the reason this is a first is that I have yet to do a hybrid text study where I can't see the other participants. So we'll see how it goes. Joanne already has one. I gave her one before. So, but thank you, Matt. And thank you, Matt, for passing them out here in the sanctuary. So what are we looking at? You should see it on screen, the first page. And those of you here in the sanctuary have one in front of you. This is the middle of this week's Torah portion. This is from Parshat Shemini. These are three pretty famous verses of Parshat Shemini. We are working our way through the book of Leviticus, which is always really tough because the book of Leviticus has a lot of sacrifices and fire and animal fat and all kinds of really not so fun things. So, but yet there's a lot of really deep and beautiful meaning in the book of Leviticus. We just have to kind of really look for it. So what's happening? The chapter 9, parts of chapter 9, right before this in the book in Shemini, Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, have been ordained as priests. And now we're jumping into chapter 10, and these 3 verses are dramatic and not in a great way. So we open up in chapter 10, Nadav and Avihu take their incense pans, they take their fire pans, and they offer alien fire. It's translated as alien fire. In Hebrew, it is Eish Zara. We don't know what Eish Zara is. We don't know. They offer Eish Zara, and what happens? God consumes them. Yes, they are burned. I'll be really, really, really irreverent. They're burned to a crisp. Okay? They're no more. They're dead. Okay? And they die. So they have this instance, and what we're going to look at is verse 3. So we could look at verse 1 and 2 for months. I really want to take a moment this evening and look at verse 3. I find verse 3 to be very poignant, especially as we start to work through the impact of COVID. What happens in verse 3 is Nadav and Avihu are dead, and instantly Moses turns to Aaron and says, "This is what Adonai meant by saying, through those near to me, I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people." What? And Aaron is silent. Aaron's kids are dead, and this is what Moses says. What is this about? What are we doing here? This is an extraordinarily emotional moment. So if you turn the page, is Moses consoling Aaron? What emotional space is Moses taking up? Is Moses consoling Aaron? Is Moses consoling himself? Is Moses overcome? What is Moses doing? So there's so much commentary. Obviously, I don't have so much time, so I've, cut it down, or we'd still be here next week. So Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo ben Yitzhaki from the 11th century in France, summarizes it this way. I'm going to summarize it for you. You can take it home and keep working on it. Basically, he says, "Oh my goodness, Aaron, they died because they're greater than you and I. God took them because they're the best." So what Rashi is saying is, Aaron's trying to figure this, Moses is trying to figure this out. Or Chaim is a much later commentator, a couple hundred years later. There's a theory that alien fire is that Nadav and Avihu are pushing away from God. Or Chaim says, no, they were closer to God. What I think is most important here is not the trying to figure out what are Moses's words about, but both Rashi and Or HaChaim are trying to understand the theology here, right? Either way, Moses is taking up space here, and whose kids are dead? Aaron's. Where is Aaron? Moses is trying to figure out what is going on. Let's go to the next page. So Rabbi Shai Held is currently someone whom I study regularly. He began an institute now called Hadar. It used to be called Machon Hadar Institute. It is a contemporary yeshiva, so to speak, and welcoming anyone who wishes to study. It's an extraordinary organization. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit, let you read the whole paragraph. You are capable of reading it. I don't need to read it to you. So in the middle of the paragraph, Moses responds by reaffirming a theological truth he believes can help him and Aaron make sense of this unendurable turn of events. Moses may need to reassure himself that his world has not fully fallen apart, but he fails to make adequate space for Aaron's utter devastation. So Rabbi Shai Held is sort of accusing Aaron here of trying to make sense of the world in this moment, in this comment. What I would also say is that Aaron's grieving. These are his nephews. These are his nephews. And Moses is the leader. And this doesn't make any sense. He's trying to figure this out. So Beth Freistadt is a teacher, and she says, sometimes when things are really hard, we talk to fill space. How many of us have done that? Me, right? We've all done that because it's hard. It's hard when things are really, really hard. So Moses is grieving. Moses is trying to make sense of his world. But where's Aaron? By Yidom Aharon, Aaron was silent. The rabbis struggle so much with Aaron's silence that they turn it around. They make so many word plays. So they do this. So first, we have, he just goes by Abravanel because saying all his names would take too long. So Abravanel is late Middle Ages. I think he's Italian, but don't quote me. So Abravanel says Aaron's silence is like a domam, like a mineral. So he became like a stone. His silence is because he was in shock. He wasn't silent, he was shock, which we can imagine. It changes the nature of the silence, right? The next commentary says he wasn't silent. He cried and he wept, and then he was silent. When we are grieving and we cry so hard that we have nothing left, that's the silence. And here, turn the page, is the most creative. I took this from Rabbi Shai Held, who took it from biblical scholar Baruch Levin, the most creative understanding. It's a word play on the word Vayidom. So I'm taking it from the bottom of the paragraph. The second meaning of Daled Mem Mem is to moan. So here, we've always translated Vayidom Aharon as silence. What if Vayidom Aharon means and he moaned? Aaron reacted in the customary manner. He moaned or wailed and was about to initiate formal mourning lamentation for his two sons. Changes the entire text. One verse. And we think through total different reactions to the unendurable, to losing nephews, to losing children. All these reactions are right. All of these reactions are how we react to grief. We have to be aware of our reactions, right? So it's not to say that Moses was wrong to take up space. We just have to be aware. Sometimes we may have to take a step back and give someone else space to moan. And sometimes, if someone is silent, that is okay. The commentators teach from this text. It is from this text, if you've ever heard that When you walk into a house of mourning, you should let the other person talk first. It's from this text. In our current reality, there's a lot of pain. Whether we've lost people, whether we have friends and community members and loved ones who've died in the last number of years, we've not had appropriate time and place to mourn and grieve. Additionally, COVID has brought its own type of grief. From Moses and from Aaron, we can be aware of our own grief responses and what we need. Are we struggling with what it all means? Are we Moses? Are we trying to make sense? Do we need silence? Do we need to moan and cry? All of these are real. All of these are appropriate. There's a lot of grief and a lot of unendurable, and we must give space for it all. Shabbat Shalom.
My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Yadav kidruchi, v'eit ishan v'ayira, v'im ruchi g'girati, Adonai li v'lo ira, v'im ruchi g'viati, Adonai li v'lo ira.
We continue with Aleinu, which can be found on page 283, 287. Please rise. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. The name of
We turn now to our time of memory. Our memorial meditation is not found in our prayer book. It's called To One in Sorrow. Let me come in where you are weeping, friend, and let me take your hand. I, who have known a sorrow such as yours, can understand. Let me come in. I would be very still beside you in your grief. I would not bid you cease your weeping, friend. Tears can bring relief. Let me come in. I would only breathe a prayer and hold your hand, for I have known a sorrow such as yours and understand. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently, first in Shiva in the first week since their death, Grace Richards, and we mourn those in Shloshim, Marjorie L. Groden. We mark the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of death that fall on this Shabbat. Betsy Ackerman, Janice Sylvia Atlason, Lawrence Bernstein, Emmanuel Biskin, Lenore Bloomfield, John T. Ebers Jr., Rosalind Epstein, Emma R. Fox, Lillian Stream Freed, Lillian G. Helper, Caroline Klein Hodis, Liba Berkowitz Klein, Harvey Ludwig, Tom Podol, Arlene Raffaelli, Barbara Ann Siegel, Catherine Stiller, Bernard A. Weingart, Laura R. Whitaker. Our griefs and sympathies mingle as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba v'alma divra hirute v'amlich malchute v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye techol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach leolam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit taleh, v'yit talal, shemet kudusha barechu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. Our closing song is Ki Eshmera Shabbat. It is found on page 330.
Shabbat, El Yishmereni, Ki Yeshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni, Otil ol meyad, Beini uveini, Otil ol meyad, Beino uveini.
Brief closing song. So please rise in body or in spirit for our benediction, which I did forget the announcements. I just got a text. I forgot the announcements. So thank God for Zoom. So you can sit down again. I'm going to bring Matt up here. Matt Greenfield, thank you for doing the announcements. I'm going to give you my microphone. Hang on, it's caught in my, thank God that I'm on Zoom, right? And I can manage all those things at once. Here you go. And if you come over here, then you're in the.
Oh, hi. Thought I was off the hook there. Anyways, thanks for so much for coming out tonight in these lovely March days. March showers bring April showers, so we're looking forward to April. But thank you so much for bringing us warmth, Joanne, Rabbi, of course. And I think even though Deb's on vacation, that's Mr. Rogers in the back. Yeah. So Mr. Rogers is making our neighborhood here really, really long distance, and everyone's feeling groovy. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much for being part of our community. Continue being a part of our community in April, 1 week from today. It's not April Fool's Day. It's actually Come Grow With Me. It's back. Come Grow With Me. Rabbi Sean and Maggie join them. Then we have a lot of events in April. April 4th, the first Monday, is gatherings. It's a small group discussion, rethinking the holidays. April 10th is a Kol Nashim Women's Seder. April 15th, of course, is Tax Day. But no, it's Pesach. And we've also got a lovely book discussion coming up. This is one I remember from back in English 385, Jewish American Literature in Case West Reserve University. Rebecca Goldstein's Mazel. Anyone read it? Mazel. It's a book called Mazel. No, M-A-Z-E-L. Not, Shlomazel, but it's Mazel. This is Mazel. It's a great book. You'll never think of bubbles the same way again. It's about chaos theory, mothers and daughters, the interwar period. She's Steven Pinker's wife. Do you know that too? I mean, it's a power couple. Rebecca Goldstein, Steven Pinker. Anyways, look them up. That is April 10th April 10th is the Kol Nashim Women's Seder. April 18th, Monday, April 18th is the Kol Nashim Book Club. Check it out. Anyways, on behalf of the board, thanks again. Rabbi?
Well, I am very glad that I did not forget the announcements because that was awesome. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Now, the benediction. Please rise in body or in spirit for the benediction, immediately followed by Motzi. May God bless you and keep you. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God lift up each one of us and bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. For those of you at home, your challah. For those of us here, challah will be right outside the door as soon as we say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, b'tei avon, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Oops. Have a good week.